Well, good evening, my YouTube friends and subscribers out there. This is Emma Gray, your spiritual mentor or Christian mentor and life coach. And today is February the 27th. My, how the month has gone by since the last time I made a video and spoke with everyone. But I want to continue on and keep my promise of making a video at least once a month, if not twice a month. And so this month has gone by so fast, but I must tell you, the new year just started and it just kicked off, and it is taking on both feet and running, isn't it? Taking on both feet and running. But I pray that all of you out there have a tremendous new year that started for you, and that whatever the resolves that you have made, that you're staying on track and that you are resolving to continue. And what I mean is to continue to improve in your life, whatever that means to you, and especially in the realms of your spiritual growth as your life as moving forward in the life that God has designed and desired for you to live. And He designed it and desired for you from the foundation of the earth, before you even a gleam or thought in your mother's womb. Okay? Now I must tell you, since the last time I spoke with you, I've traveled in two states, and just recently just got back from California, visiting my children and my grandchildren, and it was just such a wonderful time to see them, just to take a mini vacay and refresh myself and be there for my children. They want to consult and want to pamper me, and I just enjoyed it, and seeing some of my friends and my coworkers and my ex-schoolmate, and I'm telling you, I was just pampered, and I loved that mini vacay. It refreshed me and want me to keep on keeping on. Now, before I left, I don't know if I told you, or maybe I had not started the fast, but I was fasting, had started a fast, I think in probably the first or second week of January. And I think I encourage you all to fast. If not, many of you may not know what a fast is or what it entails. And what I did was I utilized the time that I would be looking at a favorite soap opera or some show on television, and I used that time to pray and do some intercessory prayer and to intercede for others, but also to pray for some things that I desire. And so I used the fast in order to sacrifice whatever that is that brings me pleasure, a soap opera or some show. I would utilize that time to put my petition before the Lord. And what that does is not about works. What it is, you are saying to the Lord that I trust you so much, and that I want to hear from you. I want you to guide me and lead me in whatever it is that I'm placing petition for you for, that I'm going to put aside something that I like to do and spend this time in prayer, and in order to hear better, and also to make my prayer more directed. And so, the fervent prayer is effectual. The Word of God says that that a prayer that's fervent, that means it's full, it's deliberate, it is more effective. Okay? So, in that time of fasting and praying, I was led to this young prayer warrior. Her name is Kelly E. Lane. Her name is Kellie, middle initial E, and last name Lane. I was led to her. Someone dropped it in my Facebook page, and she is a prayer warrior, and her story, her testimony is tremendous. I mean, and so I'm recommending as my subscribers to please. She has she does a prayer, intercessory prayer. We do it every 5 o'clock in the morning, each and every morning, and we pray and intercede for others. And I have seen changes in my own life. The things that I've prayed about has been enhanced. I was having problems with my blood pressure, and with tinnitus, which is hearing ringing in your ear, or pulsate, where I can hear seemingly my heartbeat in my ear, and I was not sleeping very well at night. I'm telling you, since I've been praying and interceding for others, I'm telling you, my problem seems nil compared to those that we've been praying for. So I want you to check out Kelly Elaine and our prayer warrior. We are 1 million strong. I mean, it is gaining momentum where people are just joining in from all over the world. And like I said, she is Central Standard Time. She lives in Jackson, Mississippi. And so for all of us, if we live on the West Coast, you get up at, she prays at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so it's beautiful to get up and have a purpose and be purposeful though. And so here in the Central Time Zone, I happen to be in the same time zone she's in here in Texas. So I'm up at 5:55 because she gets started at 6. And so I get myself up, get my face washed, and here at the computer and ready for her. The name of her website or Facebook page is hashtag shoulder to shoulder or 1 million strong. Or you can go directly to Kelly Elaine, that's Kellie, E initial, and Lane, Lane. And I highly recommend that you join in a movement of praying and doing intercessory prayer. We have seen miracles. Right now we are praying for Monica, this young lady named Monica. She has been missing since October of 2016. I think she's I forget if she's a teenager or what, but her mother Regina is praying for her, and we prayed for this young lady Averie, who has had a tremendous brain injury. And Kelly even went to Nebraska where she lives. The Lord told her to go and lay hands on and pray for her. And I'm telling you, that young lady is up now moving. Talitha Kumi is what we're using. That's found in Mark, and I forget what chapter, but check the story out in Mark. Remember when this young lady was dead, and then Jesus came and spoke the words, Talitha Kumi. That means, rise, young lady, get up and eat. And so what we're saying to Averie, we're saying to others that have been ill and in comas and everything, to get up. Talitha Kumi. Say what Jesus said. But anyway, it is a prayer movement, and I highly recommend it as your Christian mentor and Bible-based spiritual mentor and life coach. Okay? All right. So now, tonight, what I want to do, in continuation of giving you some life lessons that can really help you in your journey or in your walk, I want to help us, because when as a mentor, I promised that I would never try to mentor someone in something that I have not experienced myself, or something that I feel that we all as Christians, or those that are inspiring to be Christians, or those that are watching us as Christians, and so that we can join in, because that is our goal. As we walk our path, as God blesses us, and as we intercede and want to help others, God will help us. Those of us who have made like I said, our calling and election sure, meaning that we have made up our mind that we're going to do life God's way. Well, as we're doing that, God will take care of us. And our job is, we're part of a bigger picture, and that is to join in the reconciliation of mankind back unto himself. Okay? So tonight, my lesson I've entitled it Flaming Out. Okay? And flaming out, in normal terms mean, I guess there's so many different definitions, but look it up. I was thinking about flaming out because my husband used to go to we were fans of the drag strip and all of that, and I would see, it may not be called flaming out, I don't know, when I would see the guys after they win and they just go round and round in circles and all this smoke is going on and they're just burning out. It probably was called burning out, But anyway, I call the topic tonight Flaming Out. And what it means, what I am relating it to, is growing cold in your passion and love for the things of God. Many times, we as children of God, sometimes our love for the things of God wax cold for various reasons. And so sometimes we have to rekindle the fire. Don't feel bad, don't feel condemned, because it happens to many of us for various reasons. Okay, because we're human, but don't stay there. And so I'm here to encourage us and encourage one another not to allow your flaming out or your burning out or your love for the things of God wax cold, because we have to keep that fire going. We have to rekindle it. It's just like a fire that has some coal in the fire, and when you take one piece of coal out of the fire, what's going to happen to it? It's going to go out. And so I'm here to encourage you how to stay involved, how to stay in the midst of the fire or the love of God. All right? So I asked the question to you all out there, how could this happen? Right? Because what a mighty God we serve. And we have the nerve to drift away. Oh yes, I'm saying we do. And it's not the nerve. I was kind of being a little rhetorical or sarcastic. But yes, sometimes we slip out of the grip of our love for God. And lots of times it could be deliberate as well. And I'm going to go into that. Unfortunately, we all as Christians have found ourselves waning in our zeal and passion for the things of God as compared to when we first discovered this great love that God has for us. But it's not a time for condemnation, okay? It's not a time for condemnation if you find yourself have waned or are waning for your love for the things of God. All right? So, as I said, don't feel bad. You are not alone. As we read in many times in Psalms, David starts out, being discouraged and being scourged in the way he talks and everything. Lord, why have you left me? I feel all alone and all these things. I feel this and I feel that. But before the psalm is finished, he renews and he rekindles his love, and he remembers what God has done for him in the past. Because remember, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if you remember the things that he's done for you in the past, he'll do them again. But we have to renew the right spirit and the right mind toward God. And so, if he had continued to go down that rabbit trail, though, of self-pity, eventually his love for God will continue to wax colder and wax colder. But as we can see oftentimes, such as in Psalms chapter 6 or Psalms 12 or 13 or 17 and many others, where he starts out seem like negative or he's about to pull away from God. But the word of God says what? As we draw nigh to him, he will draw nigh to us. So how does something like this happen in the first place? Again, I ask, how can we avoid or keep it from happening? And how can we restore and renew the right spirit and passion toward God? These are the questions that you can ask yourself. How could that happen? As much and how often God has been with me and helped me, how could that happen? But don't be afraid. Do not condemn yourself. But here are some things that perhaps happened that caused you to start waxing cold or lose your zeal or your enthusiasm about the things of God. Things in life that may cause us to lose heart, faith, or zeal for God. Here's one, and most often, distractions. Does that sound familiar? I know it does for me. Distractions or negative influence. Too much attention to worldly things, right? Like the job. These are things of the world, and although necessary, although important, but sometimes we can allow them to influence us and pull us away. your job, career, your family issues, and all kinds of things. Or we start majoring in the minor things in life, okay? Things that are less important things. Another thing could be disappointments. We can have disappointments in life, things that when they don't happen the way we hope they would go or the way we expect them to go. And then we begin to, to lose our zeal for the things of God because we have put our time and our expectations on what and how we think God should handle or answer our prayers. And we know right off that is wrong thinking. Discouragements, where we get discouraged because things did not, in conjunction with disappointment, did not go our way. Okay, so we may become bitter and not think that God is listening, and so we're not relevant to Him, and so we let that negative influence or that negative self-talk get into our mind and in our heart, and then we begin to pull away from God. Okay, and unmet expectations or tragedies in life that we wonder, how did God allow that to happen? And so we begin to wonder, is there a God? After all, I'm just spending all my time saying He's a good father and I'm loved by Him. Well, how could He allow that to happen? The results or the effect of these things will begin to question our salvation. And if we question our salvation, we begin to question God and who He is and what He's capable of doing. Okay? Why wasn't He there for me? Why didn't He do what I expected Him to do? A false sense of guilt can come on, like a condemnation, like I was saying. And then you cease to want to read the Word. And that is dangerous because His Word, God's Word, is His will for our life, and His Word is His will, and it is who God is. That's how we get to know God, through His Word, right? And faith, what comes by hearing, and hearing is by His what? The Word. And so another result, we start feeling unworthy and we start feeling vulnerable, which can go down a slippery slope. You make yourself vulnerable and easy to turn and do some negative things more and more. Your prayer life is at a standstill or a stalemate. In some cases, you may stop going to church and wanting to fellowship with others. This is like that piece of coal. If you are with a church family or friends that are on fire for God in a group setting, because you remember a twofold cord is better than one. And when there's two or three gathered in His name is where the power of God comes. But if you start setting yourself apart and like a piece of coal that's put aside outside of a fireplace or outside of the barbecue pit, what's going to eventually happen? It's going to go out. So now, how can I get back on track? As soon as possible, stop listening to the lies and the deceits of who? The devil. 1 Peter 5:8. Remember, Satan is like a lion, seeking who he may devour. And so and it's always the weak one that's off by themselves. The lion of deceit can come in. The lion, Lion, can be a lion and deceit, Satan, Lying, to tell you lies. And because you're by yourself, you don't have anybody to encourage you about the situation. Remember the times. But this is how you can get back on track. Stop listening to the lies of Satan. Get back on track. Remember the times when you were in the Lord and how He's brought you through. Remember what He's done for you. There's nothing better than remembering what He's done for you in the past. And if He did it for you in the past, He'll do it today. And it helps build up your zeal. Now, pray and ask God to restore the right spirit in you. Prayer is always the key. And remember, it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. Pray and listen for the answer. And last but not least, on every opportunity, position yourself to be restored by reading, praying, attending things where it's spirit filled and where you can feel the Spirit, singing songs of melody in your heart, listening to such as Kelly Price. Join yourself in with a prayer group or a prayer partner. Like I said, I encourage you to join it's early in the morning and I'm seeking God early in the morning, it's beautiful. But whatever time that you've devoted, because God will meet you where you are. Where you are. Whatever time, devote some time. And remember to journal, journal, journal. Write down something and make a prayer journal. And do enter into intercession for others, because it is more blessed to give than to receive. Okay? So again, how can I get back on track? As soon as possible, stop listening to the lies. Remember the times when you had the zeal, and mourn for that, wish for that, and pray and ask God to restore a right spirit back into you. And last but not least, on every opportunity, position yourself to be strengthened by going back to church, by praying, by seeking the Lord in prayer. And God will answer your prayer. Jesus already told us that we receive not because we ask not. All right? So I pray that that was helpful to you and that you will take those recommendations. It is wonderful. Again, it is wonderful to be with you all again. And I want to encourage you once again to pray often, be sure to journal. And now my new motto is, it used to be, love yourself and do love somebody else. In addition to that, I want you to do what's right because it is right to do. Again, this is Emma Gray, your Christian mentor and life coach. Bye-bye. Let's talk to you soon. Okay?